The Disney Nerd. What are your thoughts on DreamWorks doing a live-action How to Train Your Dragon coming in 2025? And the other important detail on this is that it is being, I believe, directed by the person that directed the animated film. What do I make of that? It's hard to not have a cynical interpretation of that. It's hard for me to not look at that and think, I think DreamWorks is just trying to copy the Disney playbook. And right now, that seems kind of dumb to me. DreamWorks had a phenomenal last year. DreamWorks easily beat Disney and Pixar, in my opinion. I think on all fronts that the two DreamWorks movies were better than all the Disney and Pixar films that came out last year. So DreamWorks is on a good little streak, and what they're doing is copying Disney's how to milk a franchise strategy. So you can just look at the Disney live-action remakes of the last 10 years, and when you pick the right movie that still has kids these days watching it, but their parents are just old enough or young enough to be in that window where they also watched it, those nostalgia picks, Disney Renaissance, when you take those ones and remake them, they make $1 billion. So, How to Train Your Dragon, it's been 13 years. By the time we get a little bit ahead of this, it'll be 15 years old by then, which means that the 10-year-olds that watched it will now be 25. Maybe some of them have some kids. The teenagers that watched it when it first came out, they're now in their early 30s, definitely have some kids. And so you get that multi-generational situation where it's a nostalgia hit. That's my kind of cynical read on it, that it just doesn't feel like they're trying to make a artistic film. They're trying to print money, and it'll work. It'll absolutely work. With that said, two other things I want to throw out there. First one, I think How to Train Your Dragon would make for a really exciting live action film. It's very easy to see that one and be like, oh, that would be cool live action. Kid riding on a dragon with, modern day special effects, that can look awesome. It's an adventure. There's battles. There's big creatures. You can see how animation or live action, either one can be really great. I've said it many times, the How to Train Your Dragon movies, I think, are the best movies that DreamWorks has made. Not uniform. It's not like those are the top three, but as a trilogy, that's a fantastic trilogy. They absolutely work in that format. But I think they'd also work live action. It's just I don't want them to do something creatively bankrupt. Other thing to consider in here, while I have not read the books, they are adaptation of books, in which case there's probably more that you can do with them, different ways to adapt them, so it's not just a one-to-one translation. The more they can bring something new to the table by being live action, having different sequences, adapting parts that weren't done before, playing it to a slightly different audience, the better. What we don't need is the Lion King live action remake, where just nothing new is brought to the table. It's just like, it's like an effects reel. Like, hey, we've got awesome special effects. What can we apply to the Lion King? But it doesn't do anything new with the story, anything different with the story. You don't want that. We don't need that. So maybe there's something there. Like, I think that the Aladdin one works really well because they do change the story. They expand some things just a little bit. And that's an adventure story that lends itself well to live action. So I think there's the possibility that there could be something here. My cynical brain immediately jumps to this feels like a cynical attempt by DreamWorks to just copy what has worked for Disney. Most of these clips are pulled from my weekly Patreon live stream. Join at any level and you can join the chat and ask all the questions you want. That's for as little as $2 per month. For $5 per month, you can get your name on my end card. For $25 per month, you can have a monthly video chat with me. Link is in the description for more details, and keep talking movies and TV.